This is what happens when you are a creature of habit and your team know that you are going to be out of the studio for 10-15 minutes getting ready. You end up with birthday bunting. Yep, thanks team. Only the joy of it was I might have accidentally surprised them, and they sent the 2 shortest team members to put it up, which obviously I tried not to see whilst giggling my head off and running away. So good morning. Yes, it has been. I'm trying to find you all. I don't know where it is. Let me just refresh my page and then hopefully we'll find you. Oh, why it does that? I just have to refresh. Refresh. Ah, here we go. There we are live. Perfect. So a very good morning to you. We have got loads and loads and loads on the show. Loads on the show today. It is a busy show. There is a lot. There's not always large stocks of things, so what I would advise you to do today is getting quick. So if you're loving the elephants and things like that, just, as soon as you see them, just buy them. You can always shop. You can shop ahead, www.natashamakes.com. So consider this, I could only get what I could get. So if you are loving elephants, then go grab them. Go grab them now. Go get your elephants. Yay! But we've got elephants, we've got monkeys, we've got all sorts on the show today. And also a lot of you have been absolutely loving the batiks. I know that you guys love the batiks, which is why we've been stocking them. And I'll be honest, I got them at an amazing price, which is why we've been able to afford to do as much with them as we have. But they are starting to come to an end. Oh no!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Natasha. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys. Oh, wow! Oh. Guys, what are you doing? Oh, thanks.
We've got to do it all socially distant.
Oh, socially distanced. It just keeps. Oh no, hang on. Is this one of those candles that just doesn't blow out?
I don't know. It's one of yours.
It's one of ours. Oh, it might be. It might be one of those comedy candles. It's beautiful. Who made the cake? It's gorgeous.
Mother Shakes.
Ah, did she? Oh, thank you. Oh no, it's all right. It's all out. Is there going to be any left if I hand it back by the end of the show? There's no guarantees. Oh, I've got all red. Oh, cheat. Grumpy mule. It's grumpy mule. I don't know. It sounds good. Oh my goodness. Oh, guys. Oh, you guys. I don't. Oh. Probably not the cake. You were given the cake. We'll pop the cake down there. Ah, looks amazing. There's room. We'll decorate. We'll decorate the set. There we go. Thank you.
Now you can enjoy it.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye. What are they like, honestly? Well, good morning. Yes, it was indeed my birthday over the weekend, which is why we've had some lovely deals up on the website. There's no more singing, is there? So I hope that you've all taken advantage of that. Gosh, that's thrown me. That's really thrown me. Is that lovely? I mean, they know me, don't they? Cake, wine, perfect. Right, today's show, ladies and gents, is basically in here. Like I say, there's a lot on the show. So we're going to do a few things. We're going to make a few things. We're going to have a play around with a few things. I think of this as a bitsa show, a bits of this and bits of that. And that's where we're at. Like I say, not huge stocks of everything, but we'll get there. First of all, hang on. Let's start here. I don't know which of these have sold out now. I think there's still some green, but this is what I mean. So I've been putting together, we have them all labelled so that I know what colours are there. I'm going to name them all. So these were your greens. Again, 1/2 meters of salt batiks, and these are just fabulous. Oh, that cake smells amazing. For just boosting your stash. Every pink generally has a green, but I mean, just randomly picking up here, this is the Guess How Much I Love You fabric. There's a green there, and you've instantly got greens that match. So it's just really handy to have in your stash. We've got a few Cecils left. Cyrils, not Cecil, Cyril. And again, there are greens in here, and you would have a green to match. We've got 3 of these because I can't count. And I was being cautious because I'd just been caught that way of assuming I had X amount on the bolt and then the bolt's running short. So we do have 3 Cecils. Cyrils. Was it Cecil Sneer? Cyril Sneer? What was it? Was that on the raccoons? Does anybody remember the raccoons? Or are you all too young? That's the other thing that I have. So yeah, 3 of these to make lovely cushions or bean bags, or well, I would do bean bags actually out of it. And so they are fabulous. Written instructions actually on the panel. But yeah, when they are gone, they're gone. I can't get any more stock of that. But I did want you to know that there was still some stock. So again, the greens would work with that. I love pinks and greens. The purples, I have a feeling, might have already gone. It's always worth keeping an eye on the website. If you look at my Natasha Make Show, anything like this, I've taken basically the 4 1/2 meters should normally be £19.99. I've taken 10% off to celebrate my birthday. And again, any of the salt batiks on today's show as well also have that discount. Again, just to celebrate. I mean, goodness, this year's been weird enough, hasn't it? So we're finding any excuse basically to celebrate at the moment because we can. If you've got blues, then we've got Midnight, Cobalt, Azure and Powder. But again, I'm not sure if that one is sold out. And then pinks, we've got Heather Pink, Tulip Pink, Shocking Pink and Red Wine. They were also on the website. If they have sold out, I will have a dig around in the warehouse and see if I can make any more. They won't be exactly the same because I know that that's the last of some of those colours, which is why when I say see them, grab them. But today what I have for you, and again with the 10% off, was this. Now this goes with the elephants that I'm going to show you in a while, but you've got your 4 1/2 meters here in the beautiful colourway, kind of a sunset and then over the sea. That's how I like to think of it, the sunset over the sea. So if you want those, and they are probably some of the most popular colours in the salt batiks that we've had, and again there's a saving on that this morning. I can't make that bundle up again because I don't think I have any more of that particular shade of blue. I might have one similar, but not exactly that shade. So that's what I'm coming to. When we first stocked the salt batiks, I had 50 colours, and we're now dwindling on some. So I can't always guarantee it'll be exactly the same colours. Let's have a quick chat to you, shall I don't like doing the show until I know who's watching. To see who, oh my goodness, lots of messages. Good morning. So we've got Janice and Heather, good morning, and Francis, hello, and Michelle, hello, 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 and Anne, Vanessa, and Jed, and Anne, and Linda, hello, and Pam, good morning, and Julia, hello, 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 and Ali as well, good morning, Ali, and Lisa, and Julie, and Sean, and Mary, and Alison, hello, and Tracy as well, and Elizabeth. Did you actually sell? Did you sell? Elizabeth says, I love your countdown. I get all excited. Hope you had a lovely birthday. Did you sell your house in the end, Elizabeth? She went up for sale and was sold within 24 hours. Amazing. Stephanie and Sonia, hello, good morning. And Sean, hello. And Hilary and Francis, good morning. And Barbara as well. And Sam, hello, hello. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. And Jackie and Fiona, good morning. Great to be with you too. And Margaret Nightingale, what a lovely name. That sounds so friendly, doesn't it? And Sally, is it Sally and Fred? Who is Fred your other half or a dog or what? Sally and Fred. Maybe I should be Natasha and Freddie. I don't know. Marion's there and Colette, hello, and Veronica, hello, and Belinda, hello, hello, and Louise and Sue as well, and Pat and Anne, hello, good morning. The sun's back in North Cambridgeshire, says Julia. Lucky you. It's horrible out there. So thank you everyone for joining me this morning. Oh, it's just nice to be here with you, and thank you for all your lovely messages, and thank you for my Facebook messages as well. I'm working my way through them. I was a bit bowled over, so thank you. Yeah, you're right, Karen. I have an amazing team, and they've hidden all of this from me. I'll share. It's fine. I'll share. So I've got various things out on the desk. It's like I say, it's a bitser. It's a bitser day, a bits of this and bits of that. Oh, hello. But the predominant theme is animals, stuff for the kids, elephants, all that kind of stuff. It was actually World Elephant Day on Wednesday. So we are very timely, it turns out. So don't forget, I mean, these aren't really the focus of the show, but we do have the Corin Lapierre monkey and elephant kit, because lots of you were saying, oh, I love elephants and monkeys. Well, how about sewing yourself some in the felt? These kits are beautiful. If you've never worked with Corin Lapierre's kits before, they're absolutely gorgeous. You can have a whole family of monkeys. And they're great. And if you've got kids off school, if you've got your own monkeys off school, then it's great for them as well. Full instructions in there, everything that you need, including the needle. So they're great gifts to give as well. My aunts always used to give me sort of crafty presents for birthdays growing up. And I used to love it. I used to really love it because I always had something to do. Because obviously I'm an August baby, so that's your birthday, isn't it? That's that summer holidays. So yeah. Okay, so behind me you can underneath the birthday bunting is the Michael Miller ABCs. These are your ABC animals learning together, and it's beautiful. So you've got an animal for every letter of the alphabet in there. D is for duck. Oh, I've put an order in for some ducks, not table ducks, ducks. I'm so excited. They are my favourite birds. So I saw a Facebook post for some rescue ducks. So I've got my name down for some rescue ducks. I'm very excited. I've got to go and pick up the duck house today. Then you have to send off a photo with your postcode and a handwritten thing to show that it's actually your duck cage and all this kind of stuff. But it's all fenced all nicely for them, ready. That's a whole other story anyway. And yeah, we've got whales and giraffes and zebras and lions and caterpillars and little ladybirds down there. I'm selling these as 2 metre pieces. So as in, that's a metre, and there are 2 of them. Otherwise it gets confusing, doesn't it? And I just love this. I love the earthy tones of it, which meant, of course, that I was like, where can I find some colours to match? The salt batiks go an absolute treat. And again, there are 4 here. Again, with that reduction on. But this is what happens with the salt batiks. You just have the right colour. You've got your dark tones, your mid-tones and your lights. All in. So if you're quilting with these and making something, this could... It's not particularly for boys or girls, I don't think. I just think it's gorgeous, and again, there's a learning element as well. It's fun to look at. It's earthy. It's kind of timeless. But let me show you these batiks. There you go. So you've got the sort of sandy neutral. You've got your nice sky blue there, that gorgeous rich blue there, and then that sort of slaty blue grey. I mean, they're just lovely to have anyway. So that, again, that's another one. Maybe that's going to go into your stash without that. Who knows? You see, you can see, can't you? When I say that I don't have necessarily the same colour, but similar, when the tones came in, when I had the 50 different salt batiks, I mean, look how close that is. We're out by like a tone. And that's why we've managed to match everything so beautifully, because we've had that variety. So we've now had to look into what we use instead. Oh, that pink smells amazing. And it's got those beautiful sugar things. Oof. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so that's those. If you are looking for quilts, I've got quite a lot of Michael Miller fabrics on the show today because they are uber gorgeous. So I've put together a little mini quilt kit for you to make however you wish. And this is blues, yellows and greys on this one, and you'll get a metre piece of this. And this is your ABC patchwork. He's keen on his alphabet. Or they, I should say. There we are. Aren't they gorgeous? You've got mice, you've got rabbits, you've got bears, and your alphabet in there. And then, of course, to echo these greys and the rickrack and everything else, you'll get a metre of the spot in exactly those colours. So whether that will back the quilt or however you want to play it, it's entirely up to you. And then also you've got a fat quarter of each of these greys, all Michael Miller, all there. So if you know of someone that has an imminent arrival, because let's face it, there's a baby boom on the way. I read somewhere the other day that the government is already making provisions for the baby boom that is impending, and I've got at least 2 or 3 friends that are pregnant. Super exciting. 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. So it's nice to just have something there to make, and something that isn't really strong. You know, it's sweet. It's going to fit in with whatever decor they decide to go with as well. Right. What? Oh yeah, I've got another. Oh, if you just wanted the Michael Miller fat quarters, just in there's a dark grey and white spot, a light grey and white spot. There's the check, and then there's a lovely, almost ticking. You'll see what I mean. There we go. So if you'd like those, this is what I mean. I've only got 3 of those left. That's all I'm down for, but they are very gorgeous. They're fat quarters. There's a discount on them because I've got the last 3 to shift, and that's it then. They are gone. They're in part of the kits, which is why there are only 3 left. It was just what was left over after making up the kits. But I would rather that you had the opportunity of having them. They are very lovely. Let's put those to one side. There is another kit, which is called Cuddle Bear. Slightly more fabric in this one, just was the way it went with what the warehouse had. Now this is a great starter quilt for anyone because, oh, got to be careful of the cake. It's basically just a panel, so you can faux quilt if you like, or if you want to do some more detailing around there, then you've got a metre of that gorgeous check, half a metre of the rickrack, and then you've got a fat quarter of each of those. This was I think this ended up being like a 4 metre bundle in the end. But what you'll see, there's your cat, your gorgeous cat there. But all around here, you've got alphabet and what have you, but you've got all of the stars and you've got all of those. So you can faux quilt. It's a lovely beginner's quilt, that one. I just think it's gorgeous. So we have a few of those left. And they're all made up into kits. So there's more fabric, slightly more fabric in this one than the other. I think only by like half a metre or something, but it was just how they went. So there we go. Oh, it's exciting times. Yeah, you see, 41 years ago, there I was, giving my poor mother hell. Don't think anything's really changed actually. 40 odd years. Bless you, Mum. You deserve some sort of medal. I was early, wasn't I? I was meant to be a September baby, so premature and small. It's about the only time in my life I have actually been small, I think. And gave me one of those beepy pillows that beeps every time you breathe. Yeah, that stopped. Panic. Battery had run out. Nice. Just what you want, isn't it, as a new mum? To have that kind of stress. You couldn't write it, could you? Alrighty, alrighty. Ali, I think you've been waiting for this one for a long, long time. And this is Happy Elephants. But it's brushed cotton. It is so soft. It's really beautiful. We're going to be making a child's bib in a minute, and I've backed those with brushed cotton, and they are so soft. They're light, so kids don't mind wearing them, but they're also, if you get a few food stains, you can just, they grab stuff. You'll know what I mean. So this is the Happy Elephants. I have a feeling this might be Michael Miller. Yeah, it is Michael Miller. It's a bit of a Michael Miller day today, isn't it? So this is your Happy Elephants, and again, in those earthy tones, beautiful earthy tones. So here's the thing. I only think I've got about 4 bundles. Again, I was restricted with one of the colours. But if you want a ½ metre of bright green, slatey grey, blue grey, and that lovely blue, which goes an absolute treat. I mean, just look, that's his thing there, isn't it? A treat. Then I've got, basically it's a 2 metre bundle, so ½ metre, ½ metre, ½ metre, ½ metre. That's your 2 metres in total there, with your brushed cotton. And I thought then that you could, well, we're going to be making some bibs, and I thought how gorgeous to have that as either the back or the front of the bib, whichever way round you want to do it. And then use the other fabric, or use the other fabrics and quilt a pattern out of these, and then have that on the back. How utterly gorgeous. And again, not too boy or girly, you know, sort of neutral colours in there. And then, because I couldn't make lots and lots of kits of this, what I've done, and also because I know that a lot of you have been waiting for this one, this is now for sale by the ½ metre. It's 44 inches selvage to selvage. It's a brushed cotton. It's not for sleepwear. Just be aware of that. It's not for sleepwear. It doesn't have that certification. But it just means that backs of quilts, things like that. Actually, I mix it through so that you get that texture as well. Beautiful, really beautiful. So the rest of the bolt, and I believe there's another 11 metres, is available for you to buy by the ½ metre, and we will cut it to length for you. Okay, we're starting to be able to introduce this now as we get ourselves sorted and settled and organised. Then we can start to, with some fabrics, cut them to order for you, because I know that a lot of you will want that for backing quilts, so there's no point in me cutting it to the ½ metre and then you go, well, actually I wanted 2 metres to back my quilt. It's no good, is it? So that's what we've done. But again, only 11 metres left once the kits of those have been made. Let's pop that to one side. Monkeys. These are a bit gorgeous. So we're going to we could probably start with this. I've got elephants to look at in a bit as well. Might have to start with the elephants before they sell out. But what I've got for you, so we will come back to these, are bundles with 3 fabrics. So 3 ½ metres. This is the first one. If any of you have got children or grandchildren, there is every possibility that you have read the book, Guess How Much I Love You, which is just beautiful. And it finishes on, I love you to the moon and back. And it's just beautiful. And this is by the same artist, Anita, I forget her surname. And this is from her other book, When I'm Big. It's just gorgeous. half metre of ivory, a half metre of gold in there. And I thought then that you can have that as the main part. Say you're making a cushion or something. It's really versatile because then you can do something around the outside. You can do borders. You can do whatever you want. But I thought that was a really usable and really useful way of having fabrics. I think these are all bundled at $14.99, which for 3.5 meters of fabric, I think is rather fabulous. Now this is from Dina Designs. Fab designer, really lovely. And you've got your monkeys, but here's the thing. Look at the colour in the tree. So obviously I had to go and find those colours, which I have, and doesn't it work beautifully with that light teal? So again, 3.5 meters of fabric, really, really useful amounts. Utterly gorgeous. Lots of you have been loving the monkeys already on Facebook, but there they are, $14.99. I try and keep my prices as reasonable as I possibly can, and make it as affordable as I possibly can. My accountant moans at me, but what does he know? He doesn't say. It's fine. It's all fine. There we go. So that's the other one. And then the last one, I love this. I've already started cutting into this one. Hey everybody, it's Spike! Isn't he great? With elephant grey, again, you can write it, could you? Elephant grey, and your lovely soft ivory, right? Elephant and ivory, all going hand in hand with Spike, Spike. And again, 3.5 meters of fabric. Whether you are quilting, bag making, whatever it is you are doing, really, really useful. I mean, the stowaway bags that we had, how gorgeous would this be? You know, you could line it in that, have a pocket in that, spike yourself away. Perfect, just gorgeous. And just great to have in your stash. What I would say to you as well, if you are making anything for little ones, do not overlook this bundle here, because it's a very delicate one. And this is actually a Liberty fabric here with some ivory. And this is from, they did a beautiful star range, which I stocked, and I kept getting in because I absolutely adore it. It's one of my favourite Liberty ranges ever. And actually, I kept buying bolts of this. And when I first looked at it, I was like, that's a bit boring. But it's been so incredibly useful. It makes a gorgeous binding. It makes a fabulous blender. It's gorgeous quality, absolute quality, but you've got different tones of blue in there, so it works an absolute treat. So it's one of those things that maybe if you went for, if you were going for these little chaps and you wanted to bring in some extra blue, because there are all sort of smoky blues in there, then maybe it would work with that. Maybe you have it as a standalone, maybe you just pop it in your stash. It's entirely up to you, but do grab it. Now, fat quarters. I've tried to bring something for everyone's pocket today as well. So if you love the Dina Designs monkeys, I think it's actually called Morning Glory. I think I called it Monkey Business, but it's actually called Morning Glory. So again, there's a set of 4 there. So you've got your main monkey design, and I went for a shade lighter just to give a little bit of interest, and then I picked out that blue, picked out that green for you, and 4 fat quarters there for you. All on the website, all available at www.natashamakes.com. Okay, and then you can hear stuff rattling, can't you? I am getting there because actually, I'm going to change the camera angle because I need you to see these. I am so limited on these. And I found this on one. I do now with my suppliers, because of the situation with everything, I do kind of FaceTime walkthroughs. Oh, look at that. Dana Designs again. I'd forgotten that I really love Dana Designs. So Candellini not to be confused with the Kundalini yoga. Kundalini, I believe it's pronounced, elephants. And I've got them in pink, but I picked out that gorgeous yellow, really gorgeous. So you get a 1/2 metre of the elephants and then a 1/2 metre of the yellow, which just really cheers it all up and makes it sing. So again, a handful of those. And that's what this bundle was for as well, because just look at those colours. It works with Cyril the snail, but it also works. Oh, I'm getting myself all in a tiz. There we go. So if I just pop those pinks, orange and reds in there, you can see how beautifully they work. Now the other elephant that I've got is blue, so I've just brought that in, but actually I love it with them anyway. So that's why those ended up being there. So this one, like I say, comes with the yellow, but on my travels, I also came across this. Isn't that beautiful? Now normally I stick with salt batiks. I love the depth and I love the interest, but this batik was a bit special. So I grabbed it and popped it with, look at that kind of apricot-y colour, and the yellow as well. And it made it kind of some sort of sunrise, which again, you can pop with that and works an absolute treat. Because there's another elephant in the offing as well, and this elephant is, I've called him imaginatively Blue Elephant. I think that his name is properly writ, but isn't that beautiful? And again, all of those designs, again coming with the yellow, but again you will need to be quick. And again, the if I fold that so that you can have a look at that bit. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Aren't they just an absolute treat? So like I say, I'm very limited on those, so I don't know if they've sold out yet or not, but I just wanted to bring them to air because I just adore them. They're beautiful. Did I mention? I think they're beautiful. Okay, the pattern repeat on them was just over 1/2 metre. So as I cut the bolt, what I discovered was there were somewhere they were only going to get like half an elephant. So I've shuffled it along. So you'll get bits of border. I've tried to do it so the elephant is more or less central. It meant that I lost 1 or 2 here and there, but it just meant that you would get the elephant so that the elephant wasn't cut off. You didn't get like sort of bits of hoof or elephant foot or whatever they're called. So that's what I've done there. And then the first deals that I've kind of gone back in time. The first deals that I did for you over my birthday weekend was this. And it's a bit of a cracker, I have to say. It's a stonking good deal. Because I know that you love Liberty. I know that you do. And we do. We all love Liberty. Oh, gosh, these are beautiful. And they've got a range based around tea and cake, which I salute. Aren't they gorgeous? So I thought, right, let's cut them up into fat quarters so that you can get your hands on them. And there are 8 of them. And in order to celebrate my birthday, because obviously I can't be with you guys or anything like that because of the situation that we're all in at the moment, the nearest I could be to celebrate my birthday was to give these out at the most ridiculous price. These should have been well over £31 for 8 Liberty fat quarters. They are on the website and there are a few remaining, but only a few. So if you do want them, please be quick. They are on the website at £24. It's over £7 off. So like I say, if you want them, please make the use of that. And then I've done a complimentary bundle in those beautiful colours, brunette, blush, I think rose and light pink or something. but you're going to have the tone that is going to work in there somewhere. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, and it's all on the website. So, but what I would say is please be quick. I don't normally do the whole, oh, we're going to sell out, please be quick business, but it's just that for these, it was either I don't bring them to wear, which would be a shame because they're really lovely, or I bring them to wear and just let you know, because otherwise I think sometimes you wait to watch and then miss out and go, oh no. So if you want your monkeys again, pop them in your baskets and check out whether it be the teal or the orange ones. It's up to you. The beautiful Liberty, which should quite frankly just be in everybody's stash. And of course the Guess How Much I Love You rabbits. Now then. Let's make something. I'm going to start with, because this is the other thing I've got for you, is this beautiful trim. And I would be lying if I didn't say that the inspiration for me to buy the elephants was not because I had this trim. It totally was. I've been sitting on, not literally sitting on this trim, but I've had this trim for months. I mean, literally before I even launched, I had this trim because I saw it and went, I need that. And I've got some ideas as to how else I'm going to use it, but this was the first thing. How beautiful is that? Oh, bells. I don't know if you can just see how exquisitely made it is and how you've got all the different rainbows along there. I mean, it's just beautiful. And you can buy this by the meter. I'm going to be honest, it's not the cheapest ribbon but it is gorgeous. And it is so beautiful. And you can either sew it in. So I had a quandary because I started making a cushion out of the elephant fabric, and I had a quandary because I was going to put it as a trim. And I was like, actually, I'm not sure that I can do that. I can't, because then I would lose all of this, and I don't want to. So I'll show you what I've come up with instead. Okay. Which is kind of demo number 1. Move that. And like I say, I can't lie, it is entirely based around this. So the elephant fabrics, they're 1/2 meter. I cut as much of the trim as I could, and this is actually cut into 2 pieces and then sewn together, so it kind of doesn't matter. You can cut along some of the lines. I mean, mine's halfway, and then I've just sewn it together, and that's going to be the back of my cushion. So the back of my cushion is going to be as beautiful as the front. All I did was I made sure that these were in line. Okay, so that's going to be the back of my cushion. And then I used some of that beautiful salt batik and the yellow that comes with the elephant and just made the front of it. So the idea was that I would sew it all together, it would be beautiful, and the whole thing would be edged gorgeously in that, and so the cushion would have that all the way around it. Right, that would be lovely. But because I don't actually want to lose that rainbow trim, I suddenly thought, right, I'm going to do this another way. So, quick bit of tea. And let me move these so that you can see. Are you all right? Anyway, did you manage to survive the weekend all okay? Here we are. Oh, hang on. Hamper. Love a good hamper, and there's cheese and chocolate and white. It's perfect. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Okay, so I suddenly thought, because this edge isn't going to fray, what I can do is actually sew it directly onto, yeah, here. And then at the corner, just miter it so that it comes down and around. And how beautiful is that going to be? Emily up in her bedroom has elephants. I think I was pregnant with her in Stratford Market. There is a lady that has the most beautiful quilts. They're beautiful, and they are all suitably sourced from Africa, and they're just absolutely exquisite. And so Emily has one of these, handmade, and it's got elephants all over it. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, this can go. And she's got lots of, unsurprisingly, pinks in her bedroom. We went out for dinner on my birthday, and she basically chose what effectively looks like a bridesmaid's dress. So she wore that, and her pink Crocs. Yep. And she was dancing in the middle of the restaurant, just happily by herself. You can't argue with that, can you? You know, when do we lose our or gain inhibitions rather, and stop dancing in the middle of posh restaurants? It was really lovely, actually. It was all properly socially distanced and everything, and the food was lovely. So it was a proper treat. And then the rest of the time, we just went for a lovely family walk with the dogs. I think that's one thing that lockdown has really reinforced, is that as long as I've got my family, 2- and 4-legged, and an outlet for some form of creativity, then actually all's okay with the world. My world is actually quite small, I suddenly realised. I know we've just come back off a holiday, but that's the first holiday we've had in 5 years. So it's not like we're jet setters or anything like that. Got animals. Can't jet set when you've got as many animals as we have. I remember my mum saying to me that, and this is what I live by, is that I make, rather than having a couple of weeks a year where life is fabulous, I just try and make a home a place that feels like it's a holiday. You know, you might go away to see animals, but actually we're very lucky we have them here. So I'm just pinning as I go around. I am being careful to pin down so that I can leave the pin in for as long as possible, rather than pinning across ways. And as I get to the corner, kind of like you would I'm just doing a little sort of up and then down and across, like you would miter the corner on a quilt, to then take myself off in an opposite direction and then pinning those down. I am going to stitch these with quite a long stitch length. And I'm wondering now, actually, if I shouldn't have started midway on something, but I'm really excited for this, actually. Beautiful. I mean, it's a bit over the top, isn't it? If I'm honest, I don't care. Emma saw it this morning and she's like, well, I like to lean my face on it, so the trim should be round that. I'm like, Emma, this is not a cushion that you rest your head on. I've cut slightly longer there. I'm going to fold that edge under and just pin it there. So no, this is not a drooling on, watching the... We don't really have Saturday matinee movies anymore, do we? It used to be that on a Saturday I would watch the Saturday matinee, like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers with my grandma. But we kind of don't, because we've got movies any time you like, and Netflix, which sort of whenever. But it was quite a special time. Right, so that is all in place. And yeah, decisions. This was not at all where I thought I was going to be stitching this. I'll be honest, completely honest. But, you know, sometimes you've just got to go with it. And the beautiful thing is, of course, you don't, you know, when the elephants sell out, which they will, you could actually just quilt something with those, and you've got all of those colours within that trim. It's going to be gorgeous. So treat yourself. And I've got more ideas as to how we're going to use this at a later date. So do treat yourself, because I've got lots of ideas for it. Right, let's increase that stitch length. I'm going to put my stitch in the middle. No, actually I will keep it on 1/4 inch. I am then going to increase my stitch length. Okay. Move everything out of the way. And then let's go. I'm going to get me a little magnetic pincushion. Lock that stitch off to start off with. And along we jolly well go. So as I go, taking my pins out, I've pinned enough, and it's unusual for me, isn't it, to pin, but I've pinned enough to hold everything in place. Oh, I love this. But if you are using this as a trim around the edge, and you would, you know, you would put it in your seam allowance and all of that. If you are doing that, look, the trim is the width of my foot, which is great, because, I don't know if you can see, so the trim is the width of my foot. Let me move the phone and everything out of the way. So you can then have that sitting very comfortably within your seam allowance. There we go. And then of course my foot is set to lift as soon as it stops. And actually, if you're a beginner sewer, this is gorgeous, because it's very forgiving, and if you've got any wonky seams, really doesn't matter. Really does not matter at all. So very forgiving, and actually I like to have a nice, I mean actually my seams were fine on this. I'm making it sound like I made a mistake. No, I didn't, which makes a change, doesn't it? So I like to think we are warts and all sewing here. But it's nice when actually things do go according to plan, right? I don't know why I'm saying that yet. There's plenty of the show left to go. Here we go. We're nearly there, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Let me just pop that down so you can actually see. Oh, it jingles and jangles. This is going to be a favourite. I know it is. Captain Small is going to love it. So this is the only problem with Natasha Makes. Josh and SJ keep telling me that I need to have a sample sale because I am inundated with all the stuff that I make. And I'm sure at some point I will. But because it's my show, because I'm the one buying for it, I only buy the stuff I like. So I'm kind of looking at a lot of it. A lot of it goes into my I'm like, this will go into Emily's bedroom. And Freddie's got his glow-in-the-dark book cushion and all sorts of stuff. So actually we use a lot of it. So it's all a bit gorgeous. And I'm nearly back to the beginning. Gonna lock off that stitch. And there we go. Oh, Natasha, can we give a happy birthday shout out to Sue Cole? Yes, we can. Happy birthday, Sue. Her husband Ken has brought her a little birthday present from Natasha Makes, which is on its way. Oh, happy birthday. See, he's clearly a man of taste. Clearly a man of taste. But no, happy birthday. Happy birthday, all you Leos out there. We're a creative bunch. I'm going to shake me bells at you, Sue. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? But no, wishing you a very, very happy birthday as well. So yes, of course we can. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Oh, did you ever, when you were little, watch Blue Peter and stuff like that? Did you ever want to be mentioned on Blue Peter for your birthday? I always wanted to be. But then I also always wanted to have a Blue Peter badge. And I remember I was gutted because I drew, and even now I remember being impressed by the cat that I drew. It was a Siamese, and I sent it in to try and get a Blue Peter badge, and that was it. Like, never saw it again. Never saw it again. So this gorgeous picture that I was so proud of, nah, never coming back again. So right sides together, and then just sew all the way around, leaving a gap for stuffing. And that'll be it too. I'm kind of going with Kaif's thing of the back should be as beautiful as the front. So that's going to be the back, which ties in, of course, with the pad on the elephant's back. There. I'm picking out that yellow and the oranges and everything else. I used to really worry about pinks and reds and oranges and stuff together. And now I realise that it's a sunset. It's a sunset and it should all be together. It absolutely should. So let me just change that back. So you just bear with me, everyone, while I just whiz round this, because I'm trying really hard. I don't know about you, but I'm trying really hard not to have too many UFOs. And I think you know that about me, because I do have quite a lot left over in the cupboard, which I will get around to doing. And they're left over from the days of before I had fancy sewing machines, and I just sort of thought, oh, actually quilting, that's a bit of an effort. So I am working my way through them, but that's why now on the shows I will always just have to do a quick double check there, make sure they were all right sides together. That was going to be painful, wasn't it? Yeah, I do now try to finish off, even if it's just finishing off a little pouch so that it can be used and not sit in the cupboard. We've all got those UFO cupboards, haven't we? And I'm trying really hard to make sure that I don't. So you just talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Anybody else got a birthday? Is there anybody else we need to say happy birthday to? And how are you guys coping with the lockdown birthday? Because actually, I sort of quite enjoyed stripping it back to the simplicity of just, we're just going to find somewhere lovely to dog walk, and that'll be it. And that sort of worked for us. It's not going to work for everyone, I know, but it worked for us. We're nearly there. And again, let me show you here, just leaving a turning through gap. And when I start again, locking off that stitch, whether it be going forwards and back or whatever, but this machine has that locking stitch. So I'm going to use it. Whee! And then as I get near the end, you can either go forwards and back here, or do your little tink, tink, tink. Does help if you actually cut the thread, doesn't it? Right. Here it is. Can't remember who gave me the tip. Go to the furthest corner. Oh, hang on. Let's just snip off those corners actually. Furthest corner. Obviously I've just realised, where did I put the stuffing? There we go. And I will finish this all off properly after the show. But that just starts to, I'll poke out all those corners. But there you go, there is your jingly jangly cushion, and that's your backing for it. So whatever you've got, just adds a little bit of interest there. There we go. Alrighty, next up is bibs. Like I say, there's going to be a baby boom, right? No two ways about it. I can think of at least 3 of my friends off the top of my head who are already pregnant, that they've made, made known to the world, and great. Everybody loves baby. Maybe not at like silly o'clock in the morning, but when I was pregnant with Emily, the viewers on Sewing Quarter, where I was working at the time, were incredibly generous, and I was absolutely blown away by their generosity, and several made bibs. I still use them. 2 years on, they are still used, and they are washed and they are worn, because every mealtime or just whatever she's doing, a bib comes out. And so Wendy, you were one, and I thank you still for the bibs, because they're incredibly useful, and I like to give a gift that is useful, that will be used, that isn't necessarily dictating to someone that this must be displayed in a nursery or anything like that. If I don't know what colourways they're going for, I mean, it's different if it's a family member and you know what colours they're decorating and this, that and the other. Of course it is. But certainly for me, for friends, knowing that they've got babies on the way, you can do it using a fabric that isn't necessarily gender specific. But for me, what I work with is either fleece, brush cotton, or toweling actually as well. You can just use an old towel, chop those up, works a treat. So what I've put together for you is, this is, and Emily, she's one lucky girl, isn't she? She now has Liberty bibs. Get her, eh? And when Emma saw this morning, she said to me, seriously, is that the size of Emily's neck? Because you would think that that is way too small. But she has worn this size bib from day dot to now. She's 2 next month. And this still fits her absolutely perfectly. And the beautiful thing about this design is that it looks like a very pretty collar around the back. Let me show you this. I've put a photo on Facebook for you to see. So that is one of the Liberty prints that we've got on special offer at the moment. The snaps that we sell in the packs of all the colours. Did you guess it? That one's mine. And you need one of those, but that comes, I've done that on a special deal so that comes with some of the snaps to get you going. They're navy ones, but that's pretty generic, isn't it? You can use navy with most things, apart from possibly this colourway, to be fair. And then on the back, and this is what I absolutely love. This is the brushed cotton. So when you go onto the website, you'll have the pattern. I kind of need to apologise for this, because you're not paying full whack for the pattern. You're getting 1/2 metre of either lemon or white, or I think there's pink and green as well, that you can choose from colour-wise. And you do get the pattern with it. And it's not that I don't, it's one of the easiest makes you will ever make. But it's just, I thought, whilst I'm there, you'll want the pattern piece, the template. So I thought, well, while I'm there, for anybody who is just starting out. So it's not that I'm trying to teach grandma to suck eggs or anything like that. It's just that whilst I was there, I may just as well do the instructions, but I'm not charging full whack for them. If you buy them with this, you're getting a discount. And I was trying to work out how many I could actually get out of this. So I've pre-cut the front out of another one of the Liberties. And earlier, so I cut it out of that way. So you cut it on the fold. Because with any curve it's tricky. So what I would say to you is cut it on the curve. And what it almost, you could almost get to this was just how I cut this one. I might just, if I fold it this way, so just be careful how you fold. It needs this, when it needs a 10-inch by 11-inch piece. So if you're careful as to how you do it, then out of a ½ meter piece of fabric, look, I've already got two, 4, you'll get 8 bibs out of a ½ meter piece of fabric for the backing, which I think is great. So on the fold, so I've folded that fabric there. On that fold, you have to excuse my prototype pattern. Yours will be fabulous. Josh is seeing to that. Okay, so round we go. And on your pattern, you'll also have that, you'll have where to mark on there for where the clip needs to go, where the stud. No, well, you know what I mean. The snap, the fastening. Let's just call it a fastening. Oh my goodness, words. Josh came this morning, he said, I've lost all my words. And I think mine have clearly gone to the same place this morning. Don't know what's the matter with us all. And then just cut that out. Again, on the fold, we're on the fold. But I think it's, you know, there are certain things that you need when you're a new parent. And bibs, definitely one of them. And they're actually quite expensive to buy, some of them. That was the other thing. It's like, oof. Yeah, so there we go. If we're being frugal with our fabric, then we'll get 2, 4, 6, 8 out of that ½ meter, which is great. So then, if you've got the Liberty Fat 4/8, you could have 8 bibs, all with different Liberty prints. That would be beautiful. And then lots of scraps left over. So, open it up, and what you will want to do is, oh, this is one I cut earlier. Get me all prepared this morning. What's going on? What's going on? Don't tell anyone. Everyone walked in for work this morning because they all work in different rooms, so they're all socially distanced. And went, oh, it's looking tidy. I was like, yeah, we're starting to get fabric actually up in the warehouse. It's amazing. So I'm just marking off where those snaps are going to be. That will be the right side there. And with my pattern, what I do is I actually cut a tiny hole where that mark is so that I can just go straight through it. And then I'm going to put my fabric right sides together. I mean, I'm embarrassed at how easy this is. Okay, so please, but we've got to cater for all levels, right? And we've got, oh, I will have subscription for the block of the month. I will have subscription news for you tomorrow. Watch this space. Now, this is the only thing that I would say, okay, because obviously you're drawing around a template and it depends how well you've held the pen and what angle and blah, 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 blah. If like me, you are ever so slightly out, or that the base one is bigger than the other or whatever, sew from the side that is overhanging slightly. Not overhanging, sorry. So like here, the fleece, the brush cotton rather, is slightly longer. So I'll sew from the top because I'm going to work with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Look at me pinning today. What's happening? What is going on? So I will pin that in place because I don't want it shifting. But I'm pinning them out of the way so that if I want to keep them in as I sew, I can. My fabric isn't going to move around. What I would say is if you're using something like toweling or fleece, which is thicker, use a walking foot. The brush cotton is beautifully light. So really and truly don't, you know, you won't need to at all. And it's super lovely to use as well. And I know I'm putting a lot of pins in, but it does kind of sit to the fabric as well. It does sort of grip it. There we go. So when my pins are in place, I'm going to whiz around. On the first one that I did the turning through gap there. But you can do it anywhere. You can do it down here if you want. Which is where, let's do that there today. Or if you wanted, you could turn through that wherever you want. Basically, you want it on the least curved bit. So along there is great. Along the side also works. Okay, so I'm working with a 1/4 of an inch. And look, do you see what I mean? So where, I know it's white on white, but because that's just coming out a little bit on top, then I'm going to go with my 1/4 of an inch from the fabric that's on top. If that makes sense. Basically, don't panic. just sew it and enjoy it. You'll be fine. And again, this is all curves. So just gently does it as you go round. I have my machine set so that every time I stop, my foot is down, my needle is down, my foot comes up, which means that I can easily just realign. And it is, as I start to go around the corners, it's every few little bits. And you'll notice with my pin placement, ooh, get me, that I've been able to leave it in and not take it out as I come round. Now obviously you will be very careful as you come round and cautious. So round we come again, coming around that corner, a couple of stitches, lift, readjust. Ooh, try not to sew that into it. And again, you'll notice the pin placement there so that my foot isn't anywhere near it, and I haven't had to take any pins out as I go round, which has been fabulous. And because these are Liberty, they are going to wash and wear. An absolute treat. So next what we would do is take out all your pins. Get your pinking shears. Now this will help your curves lie better. Be really careful though, and it also means that they won't fray as much. So we will turn it through and top stitch it in a minute. So again, that's going to give longevity to your make as well. But around those corners, it just takes away that bulk. If you don't have a pair of pinking shears, do not worry. Just do little notches, taking out the bulk, allowing that fabric to sit nicely, steady as you go. You want to cut close to the stitches but not actually through them. So I have to concentrate. Ooh. I've gone really, really close to the seam there. So I'm going to take that back. I'm going to show you. And I didn't realise, but it's just always worth looking. Look, can you see how I've just caught that fabric? So I'm going to go back in because I want these to wear. And I am just going to re-sew around that bit there. So do a little check and just make sure that you have caught everything where you've needed to, because that, as soon as I turn that through, that would have gone, and then that would be a shame. So yeah, just double check that you do actually have enough as you go around, or just be more careful when you cut out your templates. That's the other thing. If you've got a really good pair of scissors, you could put your outer layer, your front and back layer together. Now, I don't pink. I pink all the way around apart from where I did that turning through, because I'm going to tuck that under, and I need a bit of that seam to sew around. So I'm now going to go and get those cornery bits off. Oh, and Christine, thank you for my mask. So Christine, when I was pregnant, made me the most beautiful bag and play mat, so changing mat and quilt, which I would like to say, until someone was big enough to walk, sat beautifully on the chair in my bedroom, and now of course has been purloined by Captain Small, and the baby bag. And so Christine knew that this was one of my favourite fabrics, and that it sold out while I was doing the show on air, and I hadn't managed to actually buy it. So obviously she had some of that fabric still and made me a mask. And I salute your pattern matching skills, Christine. That did not go unnoticed at all. So just run your finger along the seams. You're a very generous bunch out there. That's all I can say. And it means a lot, doesn't it? Having something that's handmade and gifted to you. I think especially when you are someone who makes stuff, you know, yourself, then you understand the time that goes into it. There we are. And I will press those seams. Now, some people have this amazing ability to like roll the seams so that they all lay beautifully and flat. But you can see there's a lovely curve there. Nothing is pinching, nothing is struggling. If I just run my finger along that seam there, and then along here, all I will do is tuck that seam under. And then I will press that so that that can then be sewn. Obviously that means I've got to move everything that is on my mat over here. It's busy pressing stuff this morning. Well, what happened was I came to air this morning, and I was there. I don't know what happened. Why I was stood here with 10 minutes to go, going, well, this feels weird. Where's the mad rush? Where's the mad, like, 2 minutes to go and I haven't got my microphone on, you know, and all those stuff that happily, you know, you don't have to bear witness to, unless of course it's really late. There we go. So actually, if you leave your seam allowance down the bottom there, it kind of doesn't matter if it's a little bit flattened off. I don't think that matters at all. So now I'll top stitch all the way around. So, so the end of the story was, because I had 10 minutes left, I started a new project. Emma was just laughing at me. She's like, well, of course, you are Natasha Makes. If you're not making something, something wrong with you. Now, what I would say here is make sure that your seam allowance is less than your 1/4 inch, so that you don't have to hand sew. Get me? I give you all the lazy hints and tips, right? So that you don't have to hand sew shut that seam. On my foot, that's 1/4 inch to the edge, but there's a marker that's halfway. So I'm just lining the edge of my fabric up with that halfway. So that's going to be an 1/8 inch seam, but that's kind of like my top stitching mark. So if ever I have to top stitch anything, now if you think that's going to be a problem for you, if that's too small, then just add a bit onto your seam allowance and sew with a bigger seam allowance. And we can. Isn't this fabric gorgeous? It's part of that Liberty range that we've got on special offer, which Inga is cutting into fat quarters as we speak. And we did a little search on price because I wanted, because it's my birthday. Did we mention it was my birthday? I wanted to double check that we couldn't find, at the time that the deal was published, we couldn't find anybody else on that same kind of deal. Like I say, we can't keep that price. That price will have to go up tonight. It was just a little birthday price. Just as a little something from me to you, because you guys are so generous that it's lovely to be able to just sometimes do that. There we go, back to the start. It's looking a bit gorgeous, isn't it? Isn't it? Yay! So now I've got those marks marked on there. This is the hardest part, is actually choosing what colour snap for. I have all the colours. This is a great little starter kit actually for snaps, because you do get all the colours. This is I've got other snaps, and actually these are the ones that I come back to, and this, I just find these the easiest ones to work with. So I've got greens that would match, I've got reds, I've got pink. I think I want to go with a red, or do I want to go with a green? Decisions. Well, do you know what, actually? I could always do red one side, green the other. Ooh, why not? Why not? So, there's no reason why you can't mix and match. Well, apart from that, I'm going to have to do two that mix and match, aren't I? What am I thinking? I'm going to go green. No, I'm going to go red. Oh, decisions. So with these, you need two pointy ones, like so, and then one there, and oh no, that's the same one. Okay, so I've managed to find 3, 4 exactly. Where are they? Where are they? Ah. Aha, there we go. So they fall, one's smaller than the other, so it falls down to the bottom. Now, this is going to sound, again, really grandmother and sucking eggs time, but you need one facing towards you and one facing away from you, so that they snap like that. Don't do as I did this morning, such a genius, and do, oh no, both buttons on, oh, I'd have to go like that to actually fasten it. So do take a moment to think about it. Oh, that brush cotton is so soft, it's beautiful. And get it the right way around, because then you've got the pokey outy bit, the bit it pokes into. So that's the male part, that's the female part, and there they go. Super easy. These are the easiest snaps. So, and also because you're not going through millions and millions of layers, actually you can just push that through, and that comes through. Well, it did just come through. Let me just pull it back out again. And that just comes through anyway, so that's nice and easy. And then pop my snap on there. Do try and actually get it the right way round. And then just squeeze down. It is as easy as that. Really is as easy as that with these. But so then if you've got that on the top, that big round bit on the top there, then the round bit on the other side has to go through the bottom, which was why when I marked on the top and the bottom bit. So that's poking through there like that. Shall I do this on a close-up? Here we go. So there it is. And you can see it poking through there. And then this is the male part, because it sticks up. Pop that on there. But I do want you to see just how easy these are. So that scooped outy bit houses that bit, and then that just pushes down, and that's it done. Perfect, right? That's why I advocate these clips, because they are that easy, and also because I've always got the right colour. How gorgeous are they? So that's bibs, everybody. Hooray! That's bibs. And then there was just one other thing that I wanted to... I got overexcited today when I was playing. Look at them. Aren't they cute? Captain Small's a spoiled little girl today, isn't she? She's got those. Right, the other thing that I wanted to show you, just very quickly, just have a quick recap, see if everybody's all right. there's anything that I need to know. Oh, can someone tell me what is a salt batik? Ali, yes, I can. So a salt batik is the way that the fabric is treated and dyed. So if I probably best show you on this. So the dye is put onto the fabric, and every inch of these salt batiks is different, because then they go along and throw salt over the dye. So the salt then absorbs some of the dye and you get this depth of colour. And the beautiful thing about the salt batik is because you get that depth of colour. Can you see there? So this is where the salt has been thrown on it. Every inch of it is different, but also you get such a depth and range of colour that it's a beautiful blender. It's perfect for blending because you don't have to have the exact colour. There are so many different colours within it. And these are such a lovely quality salt batik. Everybody should have them in their stash. When I think of batiks, I tend to think of, you know, your more traditional larger scale ones where either they've been done in different ways, and they're not always my favourites. Everyone's different, but they're not always my favourites. So, but the salt batiks I have absolutely adored from the minute I laid eyes on them. And we cut in natural light as much as we can, and they glow. They just glow. They are glorious. And they'll look one colour under the plastic, and when we take the plastic wrap off, it's like it just sings. They're just stunning. They've got a real warmth and depth to them. So that's why we love them. That's why we use them. And I'll be really sad when my supply of them dries up, because I won't ever get them at that price again. So there we go. So Ali, no, it doesn't sound daft. Not everybody knows. Why would they? Why would they? That's what we're here for. So I'm glad I checked that everyone's okay. Raining again in Fife. Means it's a good excuse for sewing. Hello, Jenny. Hello, how are you? Lovely to have your company. It's not a difficult world, but I'm struggling. Struggling with words. Hey up, Ducky, happy birthday, says Lucy. Do you know, I don't think I've been called Duck or Ducky since I lived in Leicestershire, and it was always me Duck. There we go. Morning, hope the family were good over the weekend. Well, apart from dancing in the middle of restaurants, yeah? Yeah, they were. Oh, Elizabeth says, yes, the first people to view the house went straight in with an offer. Cancelled other viewings, no chain. Lovely young couple. Lucy wants to use the salon for doggy daycare. Oh, fabulous. That is itself worth accepting for. She could also do grooming with the showers and massive washing machine for towels. Oh, well, it's made for her. That's just perfect. The community that we have at Natasha Makes, and if you are new and if you are viewing for the first time, week in, week out, we've become a family. And I love the fact that I know what's going on with you and you know what's going on with me, and we can support each other, and that's really lovely, and that is the ethos here, is women and men lifting other women up. So I get fed up. I don't watch the news, read newspapers or magazines or anything like that, because I find them very hard to deal with, because the criticism and the negativity in them just does my head in. So for me, a true woman will lift another woman up. They won't shoot them down. So that's what I hope to create with Natasha Makes. That is the whole ethos, is that if we can help, and I mean, I'll be stitching away and you guys will be chatting on Facebook, which is absolutely lovely, and there will be those of you that are more experienced that will come in with other ideas, other ways of doing things. I'm just showing one way. There are so many ways of sewing and sewing different things. And I never take it as a criticism. It's always like, yeah, great. What else can we learn? It's fabulous. So I consider this to be a really safe space. Stuff goes wrong, stuff goes right. The cat marches across the front. We've lost Arthur now, the studio dog. So that is still a big sadness for me. But you know, we have each other now, and that's all great. And so for those of you that are watching maybe for the first time, that's what Natasha Makes is all about. It's a safe space for you to share your makes, be involved, you know, and that's, you know, we get people coming like, I've not had a good night's sleep, you know. We've all had those days. We've had those days. You've had days where you've watched me with a migraine start sort of mid-show and I'm like, oh wow, can't really see straight. Sewing might not quite go right. But that's what it is. It's about real life, and it's about sewing with real life, with projects that hopefully will enhance your lives, that are useful and within everybody's reach, no matter what your skill level. So that's what we're all about here. And so the very last thing I wanted to show you today, and it is just a very super easy thing for anybody, is, I don't know about you, but sometimes, you know, I put bundles together, and on a Thursday we always have a plethora of half-metre heavens, which is where you get a designer half-metre of fabric and then either a silk batik or a plain to go with it. And those 2 half-metres, so a metre of fabric, half-metres for $9.99. And the reason for the half-metre heavens on a Thursday, and there are still some on the website, so do take a look because they don't always sell out. The really popular ones, or the ones that I only have like 2 or 3 of, there'll be the end of bolts, there'll be fabrics that were left over from projects, and so rather than just, what do I do with them, they go into half-metre heavens, or I get end of bolts from warehouses and things like that, so that you can get a taste for other designers as well without having to commit to a large sum of money or whatever, so that whatever happens you have a half-metre of heaven, and you can make a bag out of it, or you've got a useful amount of fabric that boosts your stash, gives you new colours, gives you new designers, and you can feel the texture. Different suppliers as well, their fabrics will feel slightly differently. So if it's art gallery fabrics, their fabrics are slightly finer than, say, the Free Spirit fabrics, because it's almost verging towards a cotton lawn. So super, super hard wearing, but finer cotton threads. And you know, the art gallery fabrics, their logo is, you know, feel the difference, and you really can. So by taking part in the half-metre heavens, not only do you get fabulous fabrics and everything else, but you also get different fabrics to play with, and maybe it's a cushion. I go for really big prints and a lot of them. And when I put today's show together, there are several where you have got a print and then 2 plains. Okay, now my thinking behind this was, you can either make yourself the bibs if you wanted to. You could even, if you wanted to, just put a very, very thin piece of wadding and then back it in the cotton and layer it that way. Or you could sew strips together and then cut out the pattern and quilt if you want your bibs. Or you can make cushions and things and bags. It's really useful amount of fabric. But I got making the elephant cushion this morning and just thought, well, do you know what? If you do, say, have something like Spike here, and I would recommend Spike to everyone. Josh has just come around the corner. Spike, yes? Yeah, Spike. Then what about cutting off a 2.5 inch strip of fabric off each of your coordinating fabrics? And this is only going to take me a couple of minutes to show you, because you can layer these up. And if you've got something like your stripology ruler or something like that, then do whip that out. You can layer them up, but just if you are layering, just make sure that those folded edges there line up, because then you'll line up your ruler on top. I'm cutting through layers, then I go for this rotary cutter, which people think looks weird. It is, but this is what I call the power mode, and what it means is that when I press down, all of my weight goes down into there. They are back in stock. We had quite a wait trying to get them back in stock, but I think my record has been 19 layers of fabric. And it might need a new blade, but do you know what? That's okay. I've caught just one little thread there. Dink, dink, dink. Yeah, look, oh, I knew there was one of my rotary cutters needed a new blade. Yeah, you can see where it's gone round. And it's just caught on a thread, there we go. So, actually they probably both need a new blade by now. They get used enough. What you'll do is line your fabrics one on top of the other. And again, this is where using planes like this, or the salt batiks, because they don't really have a right or a wrong side, you just use whichever side you like the look of. And the ruler that I'm going to use is the 60-degree equilateral triangle. Now, if I'm starting off, then I will want to start it over here. And I wanted to just create a simple border. So I'm going to line up, you've got a notch off the end there. Can you see? It's flat rather than spiky. So my dog ear, when you get a little flat bit left over, that's kind of what we call the dog ear, and we would cut that off. But it's already done for you because creative grids are awesome. And that's the only slightly awkward thing, is that you then have to pick those up and realign them here. That is then it done. So line that flush edge up along there. I'm lining my bottom edge along there where it says 2.5 inches. Line those up and then cut. Spin it around. Line up that bottom edge and cut. And so on and so forth. And along you go. And by the time that you get to the end, that is all of your waist. Well, I'll show you because I did all of these earlier. I cut all these earlier. Got loads of them. So my waist was that and that. That was it. That was all the waist. Great. Goes into stuffing a dog bed. So there you have it. You'll work your way along. You'll cut all of those. And I only wanted to show you this because I was looking at Spike going, what I really want to do is look at the little triangles on his fur. Is actually emulate that with a border all the way around. So the first thing that, and this is what happens to me, is that I see stuff and then I just want to create it. So what I would do is get myself, here we are, a grey and a cream, ivory actually it is. And again, I would chain piece these. So you can see up at the top, there's that flat edge, which is going to guide me. That's my 1/4 inch actually. And I'm going to sew down that long side. What I should have done, if I were thinking about it, would be to have just spritzed this fabric with Best Press or something like that. And I'm going to do, so I chain pieced these earlier. I made sure that I had the same colour over the top. And again, where that notch has been cut out, I know that I'm sewing in the right way. So I would chain piece all of those and then snip. And then I would put the darker side on the top and then press away from the dark side. So when people ask about, oh, which side do I press? We say press to the dark side, just so that you don't necessarily see through. And then for ages, I used to be, well, which side is that then? The dark side, put the dark side on top and then press away. So set your seam. And so you've got a diamond there if you wanted to. Press away. And here are a couple that I've already sewn together. So what I would then do, let me see if I get this, pop it like that. So you know, because it goes at a funny angle, okay? If you pop that against it there, it feels all sorts of wrong, and it's not. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. So lay that along there, and then sew your 1/4 inch. And if you want to double check, then do. Yes, yes, yes. So I've got all that in position. And again, I would chain piece a few of these. But then when I press that, and I'll just finger press that, there it goes. And what you'll see is that that will be 1/4 inch there, so that when you can sew along there 1/4 inch, and that'll be fine. So that will be my border. So you can see I've got my hedgehogs, I've got spike there. Oh look, I've got 14 spikes. I've got spike there, and then I will be creating my border, my spiky border, to go with spike. So it was just to give a little idea as to when you're faced with a bundle or something, going, well, what do I do with it? Is there anything that you could repeat out of the pattern and echo? That was kind of all that was. And if so, do you already have a ruler like that in your stash? In which case, crack on. Have a great time. So there we go. That is that's today's show. 3 little demos. I can smell that cake, and I can't resist any longer. So I'm going to go whack the kettle on and have some of that. Oh, Claire said, my Ryan came over to see what was going on when he heard happy birthday. Kids love a happy birthday, don't they? They really do. Good morning. I apologise in advance if I nod off. Oh, Cheryl, have we been that exciting? Oh, my daughter woke me up asking if I was okay because it was 6:45 and I was late for work. It was actually 3:15. Amazing. I couldn't get back to sleep and now feel tired. Don't you love them? But it was done from a good place. Right. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we are gadgets galore. It's one of those things. I was that person when I first started sewing that used to loiter in haberdashery shops and things like that because I didn't know what stuff did. So I've made it kind of my mission that I will, when I get new tools or anything else in, I will always explain them. I will always explain the pros and cons, why I like them, if there are any cons. But tomorrow, not are we making something lovely? I'm not going to give it away, but also we've got some brilliant gadgets that I think you're going to love. Who doesn't love a gadget, right? So thank you very much. I'm going to go and eat cake. Have a fabulous rest of the day. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.